It was difficult for superstitious people to ignore the signs. March 26, 2008, North London. Another outstanding teenage talent stole the show against the same opponents in a friendly to commemorate the 50th anniversary since a 17-year-old named Pelé twice helped Brazil to their first World Cup victory against Sweden. Naturally, Alexandre Pato was not completely unknown to the football community. The 18-year-old had a solid reputation in his homeland after making a name for himself at AC Milan, then European Cup winners. However, that's when he made his public debut. Pato, who chased down Sweden's goalie on the right flank, lofted the ball into an empty net, stopped the attempted clearance, and then swiveled. His confident, accomplished finish belied his youth, yet already comparisons to the great football players of the past were being made. The normally cool-headed manager of the national team, Dunga, couldn't help but join in the frenzy. He plays in a manner reminiscent of Ronaldo. He is not a typical talent, in my opinion. The praise continued to pour in. A wide range of suitors prepared to try and sign the Brazilian boy wonder after he won the prestigious Golden Boy title in 2009, which is given to the best young talent in Europe. At the time, Milan icon and Brazilian idol Kaká remarked, "Pato is doing brilliantly for a young man of 18 who is just beginning his career at a big European club. He has a bright future. I haven't offered him any specific guidance. I've only advised him to do what he feels is right. There are many things others tell you, but you have to do things your own way and trust your gut. People may teach you a lot, in my opinion, but personal experience teaches you even more." However, Pato's fall was as stunning as his ascent. The forward ended a mostly dismal career at the age of 35 after falling from the top tier of football to the backwaters of Chinese football in just 9 years. Where is Alexandre Pato now? He was born in the city of Pato Branco, which means white duck in English, but his real name was Alexandre Rodrigues da Silva. His moniker became Duck or Alexandre Duck as a result. Even before his football career began, Pato defied the odds. When he injured his arm at the age of 11, it was found that he had a tumor, and for some time it was uncertain if the arm would need to be amputated. Ultimately, the tumor was successfully excised without removing his limb. After progressing through Internacional's junior system, Pato made his debut at the age of 17 in November 2006 when he scored in his first Brazilian championship match at Palmeiras. Pato also scored in his debuts for AC Milan, Chelsea, Corinthians, and Brazil. Therefore, it was the beginning of a trend. A month later, he scored against Al Ahly in the Club World Cup, which Internacional won, shattering Pelé's long-standing record as the youngest player to ever score in a FIFA-organized competition. Pato was accelerated to Europe, like many other gifted Brazilians, and paid 24 million euros to join Milan in August 2007. With such a big price tag around his neck, it was quite the intimidating changing room to enter. Ronaldo, Kaká, Andrea Pirlo, Filippo Inzaghi, Gennaro Gattuso, Clarence Seedorf, Paolo Maldini, Cafu, and Dida were all members of this Milan team, which was full of reigning champions. Nevertheless, they welcomed the 17-year-old. "I met many really great players when I arrived in Milan," Pato recalls. "I was seated between Maldini and Ronaldo in the dressing room when he asked if I wanted to join his clan, displaying a copy of Playboy, or if I wanted to join Kaká's clan, which had some church items." Pato's vision was less clear. His vision was cloudy when he was formally introduced to coach Ancelotti and his new teammates since the Milan doctor had given him eye drops during his medical. However, Pato had an outstanding debut season for Milan, scoring 9 goals in 20 games, so it was no disarray on the field. With 18 goals the next season, he was the team's top scorer. Pato had 3 excellent seasons at the San Siro, but the first injury problems that would ruin his career struck around the close of the 2010-2011 season. He only made 25 appearances in his last 2 seasons with Milan due to problems with other thigh muscles after suffering 3 injuries in a single year from his hamstring. Although the absence of 17-year-old Neymar garnered more media attention, Pato also lost out on a spot in the Brazil team for the 2010 World Cup, which would have marked the next step in his career. In Brazil, you will never be the future. Rumors concerning the influence of his, to put it mildly, vibrant social life also surfaced due to his continued physical setbacks. "I like having girlfriends," is something Pato admitted, and he wasn't lying. The kid met model Stephanie Brito on a swimsuit photo shoot and became engaged to her just months after landing in Italy. After an intermittent romance, they were married in July 2009 in a luxurious wedding at Rio de Janeiro's 5-star Copacabana Palace for £170,000, wearing matching Dolce & Gabbana gowns. The marriage ended in a harsh legal battle after just 9 months, with Brito blaming Pato's frequent parties with Ronaldinho, who joined Milan a year later, for their breakup. Pato, who was obviously not very devastated, was romantically involved with Débora Lira, the current Miss Brazil, in 2010. He also started dating Barbara Berlusconi later that year, who was the daughter of Silvio Berlusconi, the former Prime Minister of Italy and the owner of Milan at the time. 5 years Pato senior, Barbara told the Italian version of Vanity Fair, "I feel like a normal young woman who has fallen for a man who attracts her. I don't think it's an etiquette violation. This relationship is not a passing fancy or a fit of rage. If I wasn't in love with him, I wouldn't be with him." Reportedly, Barbara stopped Pato from being sent to PSG, and he would celebrate his accomplishments for a while by adding a heart symbol in the director's box. However, after 2.5 years, their romance ended. Even Milan's legendary sports science department was unable to help Pato, so in January 2013, the team decided to cut their losses and sold him to Corinthians of Brazil for £11.5 million. It's not like the world is ending. At just 24, Pato had accomplished a lot and was able to restore his reputation in his native land. He was called one of Corinthians' worst acquisitions in under a year. His poor performances were first attributed to the strain of his hefty transfer price, but then attributed to a general lack of effort and a rift in the dressing room caused by Pato's much higher salary than his teammates. When he was on the board at Corinthians, Edu, who is now technical director at Arsenal, said, "He didn't have the guts that our supporters demand of any player we sign. To have a little bit of knife between his teeth is not that he should have been mean on the field." The lowest point came in the 2013 Brazilian Cup quarterfinals, when a fiercely contested but scoreless encounter with Grêmio ended in penalties. Pato had to score to keep Corinthians in the competition, but he made the foolish decision to attempt a panenka, which he scuffed, giving Dida, his old Milan teammate, an easy save. "I remember how hard it was to keep everyone from hitting him," left-back Fabio Santos remarked. "Even the players were eager to fight him, as were the fans. I don't know what could have happened if there had not been 2 or 3 people present to calm the others down." Pato's mind was sharpened after nearly getting thrashed by his teammates, and he played effectively during a subsequent loan stint at São Paulo in 2014 and 2015, scoring 38 goals to spark rumors of a Brazil recall. Then something strange happened. Pato signed a loan deal with Chelsea on January 26, 2016. Guus Hiddink, the interim manager of Chelsea, who had taken Jose Mourinho's place 6 weeks prior, understood Pato wouldn't have many chances, but didn't see any reason to think the deal was risky. Naturally, Pato needed to get fit for matches after not playing since November. But the Brazilian didn't truly make his debut until April 2nd, when he scored a penalty against Aston Villa. Even though Chelsea covered all of his £30,000 per week salary, there didn't seem to be much of a rush to include him. Ultimately, Pato only made 2 appearances for the London club, and his tenure there is easily forgotten. To join Chelsea, Pato at the time rejected a monthly salary of €680 to join Tianjin Quanyan, which was run by former Brazil manager Vanderlei Luxemburgo. However, Pato joined the Chinese Super League team in January 2017 after a lackluster stint at Villarreal. The problem was that, after all, Pato was still too good for Chinese standards. During his 2 years there, he scored 36 goals in 60 games after videos of him teasing opponents went viral.